Last night, I dreamed that I went back to Manderley. When I looked at the mansion from afar, it seemed lifeless and eerie, and memories of a past life at Manderley came rushing back.
One day, walking along the cliffs by the sea, a simple young girl spots Maxim de Winter, a well-dressed, dignified man, yet sad and withdrawn. He stands right at the edge of the cliff. The girl panics, thinking he intends to throw himself off. She runs toward him, calling out. Maxim turns around, irritated. "Were these daydreams? I'm not going to kill myself. Go away." The next day, while the girl is sitting in the hotel lobby with her employer, Mrs. Van Hopper, she sees Mr. de Winter again. Mrs. Van Hopper speaks with him briefly, but all of Maxim's attention is on the girl. Still, in the days that follow, they keep seeing each other. Gradually, Maxim warms up to her and invites her to a simple breakfast, a drive, and a walk along the beach. The girl, who had always been alone, having lost her mother and with her painter father absent, had never known such attention, and with each meeting, she grows more attached to him. One day, in their room, Mrs. Van Hopper talks about Maxim's past, that his wife had drowned. A woman named Rebecca, famously known for her beauty as Beautiful Rebecca. Right in the midst of these happy days, Mrs. Van Hopper decides to leave Monte Carlo and quickly return to New York for her daughter's wedding. For the girl, this feels like the end of everything. Heartbroken, she goes to say goodbye to Maxim. Maxim looks at her directly and asks, "Will you marry me?" No preamble, no flourish, just the words. The girl is shocked, but with all her heart, she says yes. When Mrs. Van Hopper learns of it, she enters Maxim's room in disbelief. Calmly, Maxim says, "Your companion and I are to be married." Van Hopper has nothing to say, but as she leaves, she turns to the girl. "You have no place in this family. Sooner or later, Manderley will crush you." Words that linger like a shadow over the girl's heart. With a simple ceremony, without pomp or celebration, the girl becomes Mrs. de Winter and sets off with Maxim toward Manderley. In the distance, Manderley waits. A vast, mysterious mansion where Rebecca's shadow still hangs over its walls. Upon Maxim and Mrs. de Winter's arrival at the mansion, all the servants gather in the hall to welcome them. At the front stands Mrs. Danvers, who gazes heavily at the new Mrs. de Winter. After introductions, Mrs. Danvers guides the girl to her room, and after she has arranged her belongings, heads to the hall for dinner. During the meal, her attention is caught by the napkin beside her plate, a napkin embroidered with the letter R, Rebecca's initial. But this was not the only remnant of Rebecca. In the west wing of the mansion, according to Mrs. Danvers, was Rebecca's room. The most beautiful room in the house, untouched after her death. Mrs. Danvers constantly speaks with biting sarcasm about Rebecca's ways and taste, reminding everyone of all the things in the mansion that remain at her command. The young girl, feeling small compared to Rebecca, initially tries to impress Maxim by ordering beautiful clothes. But each time, Maxim tells her he loves her for her simplicity. One day, Maxim leaves the house with his steward to visit his estate for a while. But before leaving, he informs the girl that his sister will be visiting the mansion. That afternoon, Maxim's sister arrives with her husband, and upon seeing her brother's new wife, she is surprised. A girl in simple, shy clothing, bearing no resemblance to Rebecca. The next day, Maxim and the girl go for a walk along the shore. But Maxim's dog suddenly goes missing. In search of the dog, the girl stumbles upon a mysterious cottage and enters. There, she finds some of Rebecca's belongings. When she tells Maxim, he becomes angry and says, "Never go to that cottage. I have no fond memories of it." The following day, the girl talks to Maxim's steward and asks about the cottage by the shore. He explains, "That was the cottage Mrs. Rebecca used. She had a boat always moored there, and one day she went out to sea in it, and both the boat and Rebecca sank." Maxim identified her after the body was recovered. The steward adds, "Rebecca was indeed a bold, tasteful, and clever woman." These words keep the girl deep in thought, making her compare herself to Rebecca. A few days later, while Maxim is away, the girl senses someone is in the mansion.